The All Blacks are one of the best nations to ever grace the field, and they have ridiculous depth. I came across this depth squad list, which you can call it. It's 4 teams. I want to break this down, and I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Please like, subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And let's get into it. Now, I came across this from some Kalen Rugby or Chalen Rugby. I'm never certain how to pronounce these people's names. Here's the tweet or the X that I found it through. Absolutely phenomenal. But they have 4 squads here, 4 complete depth from serious players to players that are potentially going to end up being capped. It just shows their depth in terms of how many teams they can potentially make and still be competitive. Now, on the tweet, it does say there's a note: no Richie Mwanga, no Shannon Frizzell, no Mark Telea, Akira Ioane, and a couple more. So this isn't made up. This team's are made up without these elite level players. Got to take this into consideration. All of these players come from the NZR system, from provincials, their school systems, everything. So shows the depth that they have. Now we look into this, and my God, this is just ridiculous. I mean, you look at first and second 15, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. These 2 teams would be able to put a beating to 90% of teams in World Rugby. Even the second team here that's listed would still be able to put a dangerous fight up against the likes of France, up against the likes of England, Australia, Ireland. They would still put up a fearsome fight. And out of 5 games, they'd probably end up taking 2, maybe even 3 of those games. So we look at the depth that they have, from Reiko Ioane, Geordie Barrett, to Quinn Tupea, Anton Linet-Brown, Imoni Narawa, Ruben Love. And then you have Duplessis Karifi, who really made his mark in the most recent tests. Cortez Ratima at 9. You have Cam Roygard at 9. From Wallace Satiti to Samapenny Finau. And then we even look into the third squad, from Luke Jacobson, Christian Leo Willie, who he actually played well when he ended up getting chosen into the squad. He didn't make the later squad, but that just goes to show the depth that they have. Obviously, Razor, he is more than happy to chop and change and drop whoever is needed. And he's happy to make those decisions, those hard decisions. And when you drop a player like Christian Leo Willie, who put in the good performances, and then you still look at the kind of talent that he was able to bring in, and the quality of performances that were put in, absolutely ridiculous. I mean, even you look at Ali Norris, Asafa Almua, Pasilio Tosi. Yo, this is why New Zealand is constantly fighting for that #1 place in the world. There are truly only 2 teams that are constantly in the conversation for best of all time: South Africa and New Zealand. Reason being, their system, their development system, is on a completely different level that isn't really seen out there, right? We look at the French, they have essences of New Zealand there. They have essences of South Africa. You look at England rugby, they have essences of English rugby, especially in the past. They are becoming a lot more homegrown, and you're finding a lot more straight out Englishmen playing for England. Whereas before, we did see quite a few elite level players that were born in New Zealand, but what's the word? They became eligible because of how many years that they played in the countries and so on. But you look at the Springboks, you look at New Zealand, look at how many of their players are brought in from outside nations. Please look at it. How many players that come from New Zealand and come from South Africa are in other nations, are found in other nations. I'll give you an example. Pierre Schoeman plays for Scotland. There's many more, and they all span throughout the nations. We even see players, Vincent for, I believe, for Italy, who's a product of South Africa. So there's so much talent here, and it really goes down into the grassroots systems that they have in place in South Africa, in New Zealand. It is life, it is our culture, it is our heritage to play rugby. It is what we are born and raised on, and this is why we have this. We have the schooling systems in place to develop some of the best talent in the world, and it shows. There aren't other teams in the world that have depth the way New Zealand and South Africa do. I mean, even we look at the fourth squad that is listed here, which by all means is probably the least capped, the least experienced out of all of them. You still have people like Brody McAllister, who is an absolutely phenomenal player. Ethan Blackadder, who somehow is not making the squad. I don't know what's happening there. He's such a powerful presence, but he's still not making the squad. Goes to show the depth that they have. Dalton Papali'i, he's here listed on the fourth squad here. Dalton Papali'i. I mean, David Havili, just like Hoskins Tutu. These are players that just wow. And then you still have players that are coming in, that are making their mark, that are really, really putting and making their presence known. Like, where is he? You've got Leroy Carter. You've got Simon Parker. Simon Parker, I really, really hope he is going to get a chance to play up against Argentina. I really hope Simon Parker is going to get a chance to play up against Argentina, because he's electric. He is fire. He's just got that presence when he's on the ball. You know, he goes in for contact. He's such a strong runner. He parts the bloody Red Sea. He is a scary guy. And then you think how young he is to how much quality he has and the performances that he put in Super Rugby. He is a scary, scary prospect to be coming up. And I cannot wait to see him just break through, because I know he is going to break through. But he does have players like Simapeni for now. We have Tupo Vai. You got players like bloody even Artie Surveyor, who can play at 6. I mean, he normally plays at 7, but Duplessis Karifi as well. There are so many players here that are able to put in the work, and this is why New Zealand are so scary all the time, because no matter who they play in position, you're going up against an elite team, an elite talent. Ireland were number one for what, 2, 3 years? They have ridiculous talent, but they are not producing elite level talent in the drones, in the waves that South Africa and Ireland and the All Blacks are. If they do not keep up with their standard, Ireland will ultimately drop. France, however, are putting a lot of money into their systems. They are doing everything right, and we are seeing a lot of elite level talent coming through, and scary, scary talent coming through. Example, Bielbiare, Mofana, Mauvaka, Miafau. But again, a lot of these players just so happen to play, well, naturally are born elsewhere. Um, but, you know, you look at, for instance, James Lowe, Gibson Park. That's what I'm saying. But look, there are a lot of players here that we are going to be seeing breakthrough in the next couple of years. There are a lot of players on these teams that haven't had a cap yet, which will ultimately getting caps and really putting in some good performances. But then we still think no Richie Mwanga, no Shannon Frizzell, no Mark Talea, no Akira Ioane. This is going to be a scary, scary set of All Blacks. And I cannot wait to see how this year is going to end. So let me know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on the squads, on the teams, and what do you think about the depth of the All Blacks? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like, subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.